Welcome back, my cozy friends, and welcome in if you are new. Let's go over some very important Fae Farm tips and tricks for today's video. Fae Farm is a cozy simulator game that I have not been able to put down. I am completely enthralled. There is a lot of content in this game and I'm only brushing the surface, but here are some things I've learned throughout my playthrough. My first tip is what I'm going to call finishing the tutorial by finishing your neighbor quests. You will be able to unlock mining once you do this, which is going to be a very good money maker in this game. Some of these quests include learning how to fish, bug hunt, and raise farm animals. Tip number 2, prioritize mining. Not only does this advance the storyline, but it also helps you to upgrade your tools, make extra money fast by selling gems that are polished, we'll talk about that later, upgrade your backpack, and gather materials for crafting and furniture if you are focused on making your farm layout cute. The first mine is pretty simple. The mining does get a little bit more complicated once you get into the second mine. When you start out mining, it is wise to be prioritizing crafting seals for each floor so that you can return easily and start off where you left off. In the beginning of the entrance to the mine, it will tell you what you need for the seal. It's the large circular thing as soon as you enter. And this is what the seal crafting station looks like. So you just go in here and you craft. My next tip is to bring food into the mines and pick up the oysters or clams while you are there. You can cook the oysters to make a stew that gives you a good amount of energy for your next trip to the mines. As you progress and find other mines, it will be important to start cooking higher level foods. It is also important to bring health potions and mana potions to higher level mines that you will find later on in the story. My next tip is to prioritize gems in the mines, as you can process them with the gem polisher and you can make a really pretty penny. Again, you can sell your extras but save some rough gems for NPC gifts. Sometimes they do like one polished gem as well, and you can also save them for crafting. Farming gems, in my opinion, is the best moneymaker because they are easy to obtain by returning to previous floors. So if you use the seals, they tell you what gems and what items are on each floor that you can farm. You can make a decent amount of money off of farming, but it's nowhere near in comparison to what you are making early game via gems. And this is primarily how I got all my backpack upgrades. Also, I wanted to state that it's really simple. Most of the gem nodes drop like 10 at a time. So it is a really easy and lucrative way to make money fast in the game. One thing I did want to also say is that later on when you start to unlock shipping contracts, you make even more money from, completing those. They're not always gems, but here's a great example of how much you would make. You should be prioritizing the materials that you get in the mines and from foraging for crafting all of the crafting stations, but you can also unlock waypoints across the map for fast travel too by crafting additional seals. You will need various materials to craft these, so make sure you're saving some. Also, don't be afraid to clear your farm of trees, rocks, and plant fiber because you can replant these later. The rocks you can't replant, but the trees and the fiber you can. The fiber is just like the really pretty flower. They look like wildflowers. But if you know your layout and you want to incorporate fiber already there, feel free to leave some. When you replant fiber, you have to do it in large blocks. The dimensions are 5 by 5, so you will have to clear a path doing it this way. Either way, the plant fiber looks really cute and adds to a cozy aesthetic. There's also fiber in trees that you can cut down outside of your farm, so make use of those. When you are foraging and gathering, make sure to save some ingredients. It's okay to hoard. I found myself being able to progress quicker because I kept items and I didn't have to go out looking for them as they were already in my storage. It also really helps to progress character relationships by completing their daily personal quests. Another tip, one thing I really love about Fae Farm is while the game does put you to sleep, you don't lose any items and are not punished for staying up late past that midnight threshold. You can make the most of your day without being penalized as you just wake up the next day with the items that you had been working on collecting before it was midnight. The next tip, do not sell your bugs or Fae creatures. Instead, put them in the conservatory so that they produce items for you. You can also put worker bees in the beehive, but you do need to have a queen bee in order to craft one hive. My next tip is to talk to Rosalind, the florist, and Jeremiah, the rancher, to get a head start on hybrid flowers and Fae veggies. In order to get hybrid flowers, you need to create a plot like this. For veggies, you will need to craft the garden bench to create fertilizer, which will give you a chance to grow Fae veggies. You can then use your garden bench to create extra seeds and then plant more later. There are different types of fertilizer, so make sure you try them all. Rosalind will tell you to plant your florals right next to each other, but you in fact need to leave a space in between them in order to get the hybrid flowers. My next tip is to craft that beverage station and make iced tea and green tea to combat weather. Green tea will keep you warm on rainy days, and iced tea will keep you cool on hot days. You will lose energy if you do not consume these. You will need tea leaves for both of these recipes, and tea leaves are found all around town. For my final tip, I want you to pay attention to the time up at the top. We are paused, so time is not moving. In this menu, this is where you basically pause the game. Now, it's really important to know that only in this menu and during dialogue will the game pause. You are not pausing time while you are decorating, crafting, or looking through your storage. Be mindful of this because time goes pretty fast in Fae Farm and you don't want to miss anything. Overall, I'm so happy with this game and I've been playing it non-stop. I hope these tips were useful to you, and if you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing, liking, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and stay cozy, my friends.